Here we are with my old friend, colleague and Hall of Famer Steve Flink after the ladies' final, which wasn't won by an Italian. Jasmine Paolini lost to Barbara Krejcikova, difficult to pronounce it, 6-2, 2-6, 6-4, 1 hour and 56 minutes. Steve, what were your different feelings during the match? Because Paolini lost badly the first set. She won easily, let's say, the second set. What about the third?
Yeah, well, I'd say you described it well. Very straightforward the first two sets. Krejcikova got a little nervous herself in the second set after Paolini did in the opening. In the third, they both played better. I thought it was the best set of the match.
Yeah.
And actually, Paolini had only lost 2 points in 3 service games up until 3-all, but she double faulted her serve away. Break point, double fault, kick serve. That ended up being the difference. Then we go to the last game of the match, and Krejcikova had, it was 4 deuces. She didn't win it until her third match point. She saved 2 break points. It was a nerve-wracking game for both, but she got through it. And in the end, I think what you said during the match was accurate. She really was the better player. Paolini would have, in a sense, stolen the match. Not stolen by anything, by gamesmanship, but by just hanging in there and counting on her opponent's nerves. But in the end, the nerves held up for the winner, and she deserves her second major title.
Yes.
Singles, that is.
Yeah, well, I do agree. I think that it was a bit naive by Jasmine Paolini to call the challenge on one after the first serve. She thought it was in, but you should never ask a challenge between first and second serve unless you are 100% sure. What happened afterwards, that she was not given the point. I mean, she was not told that the ball was good, and she had to play the second serve with that interruption, and she made the double fault that you mentioned.
Yes, it was.
And I wrote it in my notebook that you don't appreciate because they're very synthetic.
I don't.
But I can show it. I mean, because people would. I'm sure they would love to see my one, while to see the Steve Flink's one, you would need the 10, 15 pages.
Need a microscope.
No,
but Ubaldo, that's a good point you're making. That's inexperience.
Yeah.
She hasn't. She's still relatively new to the challenge. It's only these last 2 majors that she's starting to play a lot of show court matches.
Correct.
And I don't think you'll see her make that mistake again.
Yeah. Well, then she would have tried maybe look at her team, and her team would have said yes, it's good or not, or no, it's not good. Instead, instinctively, she said, "Oh, must be good," and then she made a double fault, which was
it ruined her rhythm. You're right. You're right.
Anyway, well, maybe Jasmine Paolini could invite us one day in her house and eat on her 2 dishes. I mean, the Roland Garros dishes.
Why not?
And on the Wimbledon dishes, because they're still fantastic dishes. I mean, that she would have never believed she was able to get them.
That's true.
One after the other.
That's true. If she looks back to pre-Roland Garros and someone had told her, you're going to be in the finals not only here but at Wimbledon, she might be slightly disappointed she couldn't win one, but she'd be very gratified that she could get to 2 major finals in a row at the age of 28, having been nowhere near there before.
Yeah. And then we have also to say that Krejcikova, also she must be very happy if she thinks what happened in the first round, because when she played versus Kudermetova, they were the first 2 sets went to the tiebreaker. She won the first, she lost the second. In the third set, she was up 5-3, but then on 5-all, she had to save 3 break points to Kudermetova.
No, and she alluded to that match on the court in the presentation ceremony. She knew how close she'd come there, and that's why she looks back and says, oh my God, here I was almost out in the first round, and I've won the tournament.
Yeah, and then, of course, she cannot forget that she was trained and coached by Jana Novotná.
Yes.
And we mentioned what happened in Jana Novotná, Steffi Graf in what was the 92?
93.
93.
Yeah.
Novotná was up 2 breaks
in the third set
against Steffi Graf.
Yeah.
She had twice, I think, the
Yes.
ball to go
5-1,
5-1
yeah.
against Steffi Graf, and
Yeah.
she lost that match.
Yeah, she got extremely nervous there, and heartbreaking. She was crying on the shoulders of the Duchess of Kent.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then, of course, 5 years later, she came back and won the title, which was great.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so anyway, great match for Krejcikova and Paulini. Very quick prediction about tomorrow. I believe that, I want to hear you first.
Well, I'm picking Djokovic. I feel it's a toss-up match. Anybody who believed heavily that it's in the bag for one player, I think, is wrong, because I think when they're both at their best, they're very evenly matched. I just feel Djokovic is so deeply driven and highly charged right now to do this at the age of 37. Not that Alcaraz is not, but there's even that there's that urgency, I think, in his mind that he must capitalize now. And I think he's playing well, and I think Alcaraz has been in and out in most of his matches. So I go with Djokovic, probably 5 sets.
Okay, while I instead think that Alcaraz will win. So one of the
How many
two,
sets?
3 sets.
Wow. Okay.
One of us may be right. Bye-bye.